ranking every single episode of Black Mirror. Today I'm going to rank all 34 episodes of Black Mirror from the worst to the best in an unbiased point of view. I did film studies and it's so important that you separate favoritism when it comes to ranking and reviews. For example, my favorite episode of Black Mirror is the entire history of you, but it doesn't make the top 5 because this is an unbiased ranking. Please do follow me because it helps. Coming in the last place, we've got Rachel, Jack and Ashley 2. This is absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. Should have never been made as a Black Mirror episode. Coming in at 33, we've got Archangel. Coming in at 32, we've got a fan favourite, that is Black Museum. I do like Black Museum myself, but from a critical standpoint, there's so many plot holes in it. For example, there's 3 stories that's intertwined into one, and it just barely scrapes through. It relies so heavily on the plot twist towards the end. At 31, we finally get into Macy Day. Macy Day is just horrible, absolutely horrible episode, but it's got a really good plot, and the plot carries the episode. The execution of the episode is absolutely poor. Coming in at 30, we've got Eulogy. Eulogy is great if you like a good cry, living in the past, and revelations, but as a critical standpoint, it's not that good. It's super bland, and Paul just carries the episode at times. At 29, we've got Bête Noire. I really like Bête Noire, but they just didn't put enough care into it. For example, the dialogue towards the end is absolutely poor, and they didn't just spend enough budget on this episode, and I don't understand why. The runtime was super low, it was super rushed at times. I just didn't understand why they just didn't put enough care into this episode, because it could have been one of the greatest episodes of all time, but they missed the trick. At 28, we've got Crocodile. They attempted Scandinavian filmmaking, but they didn't really succeed. At 27, we've got Common People. This is a hybrid of Joan is Awful meets the entire history of you. It's just rinse and repeat. Some of the shot selections are poor as well, and the pacing is poor as well at times. It's super slow, which makes no sense. At 26, we've got Be Right Back. Be Right Back relies on performances, just like Eulogy did. At 25, we've got one of my favourite episodes of all time, that is Smithereens. At 24, we've got another fan favourite, that is White Bear. White Bear has a lot of repetitive performances and relies heavily on the plot twist towards the end, which a lot of people do like. So if you like plot twists, this is your jam. At 23, we've got Metalhead. I really like the attempt of this episode, but it just fell short. At 22, we've got Joan is Awful. I think Joan is Awful is incredibly overhated for no reason at all. I think this is a good episode. Yeah, it could have been better, but still a great episode. At 21, we've got USS Callister, the sequel. It's alright. At 20, we've got another fan favourite, that is Lock Henry. Lock Henry, again, relies on plot twists. If you take away the plot twist, it's probably an average episode. At 19, we've got Hotel Revier, I don't know how to say it. It's okay. Great mise en scène. I think her performance was incredible. Her performance could have been better. Coming in at 18, we've got Playtest. Underrated episode. At 17, we've got Men Against Fire. Another underrated episode. At 16, we've got another fan favourite. That is San Junipero. It is overrated, I'm sorry to say. People like this episode because of the themes in it. But again, from an unbiased point of view, it's just okay. You know, it's great, it's good. But it's not like the greatest episode of Black Mirror. You're taking the piss. At 15, we've got Demon 79. I think this is a good episode. However, they didn't spend enough money on it, and you can tell by the CGI. Coming in at 14, we've got many people's number 1, and that is White Christmas. I think White Christmas, the pacing at times was pretty poor, but the pacing at times was pretty great. I think the first third of it, the pacing was pretty good, but then the second third, the pacing went to a bit yin and yang. And I think they could have done so much better with the contrast in the White Room. Coming in at 13, we've got the Waldo moment. So many people put this towards the end of the list because they're trying to be biased. But from an unbiased point of view, this is so underrated. Such a good episode. Coming in at 12, we've got The Man That Likes to Think a Lot. Striking Vipers. Coming in at 11, we've got Beyond the Sea. Feels like a short movie, which is great. If you've made it this far, please do follow me for more unbiased reviews. Into the top 10 now, and we've got Bandersnatch. I think Bandersnatch is great. I encourage it actually. I think we need more Bandersnatches because it's fun. Coming in at number 9, we've got a latest episode, and that's Plaything. I think Plaything is great. I think it's super underrated. I think Peter Capaldi absolutely did a great performance. Also, I like the way lighting affects mood of his character. For example, in the interrogation room, the natural light affects him, and both the computer screens, the artificial light, also affects him. It's great. Coming in at number 8, we've got the episode that started it all, the national anthem, super underrated. Coming in at number 7, we've got the original USS Callister episode. Great. Coming in at number 6, we've got my personal favourite, and that is the entire history of you. This is the episode that got me hooked on to Black Mirror as a little kid, and it's such a great episode, man. Coming in at number 5, we've got Hang the DJ. This episode needs to be spoken about more because this is such a good episode. Coming in at number 4, we've got another episode that is overlooked, and that is Hate in the Nation. Needs to be spoken about more. Such a good episode. Top 3 now, and we've got Sharp and Dance from Season 3, Episode 3, in 3rd place. Where do I start with this episode, man? Such a good episode. Like, I keep talking about pacing in the other episodes. I want you to look at the pacing in this episode because it's close to perfection. It forces you to hurry up. It forces you to slow down. And that's what good pacing is, because you're kind of invested in the character. You go along with the character. You borderline root for the character. In comparison to White Bear, where the character was sort of repetitive. So you're like, do I root for this person or not? In this episode, you're forced to root for the person. And then the plot twist happens. And like I mentioned before, in Black Museum, that was heavily relied on the plot twist. This doesn't rely on the plot twist. It absolutely doesn't rely on the plot twist. The plot twist just happens. And it takes everyone by surprise every single time. It is that good. Great episode. Can't say enough good things about it. Coming in at number 2, we've got Nosedive. And where do I start with this episode, man? Such a good episode. I was so close to putting this number 1, but I just couldn't, because I'll tell you why later. But this episode is great. Phenomenal mise-en-scène, by the way. Mise-en-scène is just a fancy word for things in a frame. But great mise-en-scène in this episode. Some parts of it, yeah, you could argue is cringy, but I think it works for the episode. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense for the episode. But yeah, great episode, man. Can't say enough good things about it. Borderline perfection. I was so close to putting this at number 1, but I just couldn't. But coming in at number 1, in my opinion, from an unbiased point of view, critically, the greatest episode of Black Mirror history is 50 Million Merits. And where do I start with this episode? There's a performance that Daniel Kaluuya does about 2/3 in that might be top 5 TV moments of all time. It's that good. The episode is great. The pacing is great. The acting is great. Like I mentioned before, he was absolutely insane in it. And I think it might be his best performance, by the way. I think it's better than Get Out. That's how good it is. But yeah, I can't say enough good things about this episode, man. I was so tempted to put Nosedive number 1 because Nosedive as a whole is great. But this has just that rawness, you know. And you can't fake that. It's absolutely insane. And I think this episode and Nosedive is number 1 and 2 by a country mile. But yeah, speaking about this episode, it's so good. The plot is great. The shot selections are great. The performances are great. The pacing is great. The color choices especially. No one mentions that. The color choices are great. Everything about this episode is great. So yeah. But yeah, that was my ranking of every single Black Mirror episode critically from an unbiased point of view. Let me know if you agreed or not. You probably disagreed a lot. But remember, this is from an unbiased point of view. And try to be unbiased in the comments because I know we have our favourites, right? One of my favourites is Smithereens. But I had to rate it low because from a critical standpoint, it wasn't like top 10 or anything. So remember to be unbiased when you're ranking, please. And please do follow me for more unbiased film, TV reviews and recommendations.